In 1889, an iron tower rose above Paris, the tallest structure ever built by human hands. 300 men climbed into the sky to assemble it. These are original photographs taken during the tower's construction between 1887 and 1889, carefully restored and colorized. For more than a century, these moments existed only in black and white. Now we can see the Eiffel Tower as its builders saw it. The story does not begin with Gustave Eiffel. It begins in May 1884 inside his Paris engineering office, where two young engineers, Maurice Coquelin and Émile Nouguier, began sketching ideas for a structure unlike anything before it. France was preparing for the 1889 Exposition Universelle, marking 100 years since the French Revolution. The exhibition would demand a bold centerpiece, something unprecedented. On June 6, 1884, Coquelin produced a simple sketch at home, a four-legged iron tower rising 300 meters into the air. Eiffel was cautious. The idea was radical, but intriguing. Architect Stephen Sauvest was brought in to refine the design, adding arches and public platforms to soften its industrial severity. By September 1884, a patent was filed listing Eiffel, Coquelin and Nouguier as joint inventors. Eiffel soon acquired full ownership of the rights. In 1886, the French government announced a competition for the entrance monument of the 1889 World Exhibition. The brief was explicit: a 300-metre metal tower. More than 100 proposals were submitted. Only one proved it could realistically be built: Gustave Eiffel's. Eiffel faced serious competition from architect Jules Bordet, who proposed a rival's Sun Tower, a monumental stone structure crowned with a beacon. The contrast was stark: stone versus iron, architect versus engineer, tradition versus modernity. The debate played out in the press. Eiffel argued pragmatically that his tower could be built on time, within budget, and would serve science and national defence. On June 12, 1886, Eiffel's project was selected. Construction could begin. In January 1887, work began on the Champ de Mars. What had existed only as drawings and calculations now entered the physical world. Paris watched cautiously as the ground was broken for a structure unlike anything ever attempted. Just weeks into construction, opposition erupted. On February 14, 1887, the newspaper Le Temps published an open letter signed by some of France's most prominent artists and writers. Among them was Guy de Maupassant. They condemned the project as useless and monstrous, warning that it would dominate Paris like a gigantic factory chimney. But work continued. Before the tower could rise, its foundations had to be secured with absolute precision. Each corner would carry immense weight. There could be no margin for error. The foundations alone would take 5 months to complete. Massive stone and masonry blocks were set in place, each aligned to exact angles that would determine the tower's final form. More than 300 men would take part in the tower's construction. Despite the scale and danger, safety was taken seriously, an unusual priority for the time. Remarkably, only one fatal accident would occur during the entire build. While the foundations took shape, the tower itself was being manufactured beyond Paris's city limits. At Levallois-Perret, an industrial suburb just outside the capital, Eiffel's workshops produced every iron component in advance. Over 18,000 pieces, each fabricated to extraordinary precision. By the summer of 1887, the ground was ready. The iron could begin to rise. By December 1887, the tower's 4 legs had reached the first platform. This view shows the moment they finally met, a critical test of precision. Across the site, a narrow-gauge Decauville railway ran continuously, delivering iron components exactly where they were needed. Nothing was lifted twice. Nothing was left to chance. The most difficult phase of the build was complete. By early 1888, the tower had become impossible to ignore. Iron now higher than the surrounding city. Crowds gathered daily, drawn by curiosity as much as disbelief. What had begun as a controversial sketch was becoming a permanent presence in the life of Paris. This view was made about 4 months short of the tower's completion. Louis-Émile Durandal photographed the tower from a low vantage point to emphasize its monumentality. The tower was completed on March 31st, 1889, just weeks before the opening of the Exposition Universelle. Built in a little over 2 years, it stood 300 meters tall, the tallest structure ever raised by human hands. What began as an experiment in iron was now finished. Paris had its new landmark,